Welcome to our third Monday class, Easter Monday. These classes are starting to become a little bit more familiar to us now. Coming to lie down on your back if you're not already there, and adopt a position with the soles of the feet on the floor and the knees up. Feet comfortable, hip distance apart, and far enough away from your buttocks for your sacrum to be flat on the floor, your lower back to be flat on the floor. And from this position, lift both feet just off the floor and begin to wriggle the toes, loosen the ankles. Make any other movements in the feet and the toes, forwards and backwards, round and round, anything that feels nice. And then leaving the left foot where it is, place the right foot very mindfully down onto the mat, spreading the awareness through the whole of the surface of the right foot. And then the same when you're ready with your left, spreading the awareness through as much of the surface of the foot that makes contact with the floor as you can. And then relax. Option here is to gently slide the heels away and come to a classic relaxation pose, or you can stay with the soles of the feet on the floor. It's entirely up to you. And arms to the side of the body, palms facing up. And lift the hands just off the floor. And you're going to open and close the hands very slowly, very mindfully, imagining that if you want to, that you're closing and opening a flower. You can picture any flower that you want to if you want to have that image in your mind. But either way, you're going to very, very slowly on your exhale, close your hands, but the movement's going to start from the center of the palm of your hand. So just play with that a little bit. So as you exhale, very gently closing the petals of that imaginary flower. So you're moving everything from the center of the palm of the hand rather than moving from your fingertips. And as you inhale again from the center, visualize your unfurling, uncurling from the center of the palms of the hands, gently opening the petals of that flower again. And then repeating that again. Exhale as you very gently close, just moving our hands in a slightly different way to how we would normally do. Moving from the center of the palm of the hands rather than from the fingers. Just doing what we often do in yoga, just bringing awareness maybe to movements that we wouldn't normally make, just to heighten our awareness. And the last time, closing and opening. And then begin to shake the hands, rotate the wrists. Again, as you did with the feet, any other movements that feel nice, opening and closing, flicking the hands, flicking the fingers. This time your awareness will be on your fingers. Any other movements. And then when you're finished, very gently bring the back of the hands onto the floor again. Palms facing up, fingers very lightly curled. Then from here, arms. So move your shoulder blades to allow your collarbones to move away from each other. So you feel that you've widened your chest. Rotate the arms and shoulders. Find the most comfortable position for the arms away from the side of the body for your body today. Allow the shoulders to soften and fall into the floor. Very slowly moving from the chin, slowly tuck the chin gently down. Feel how that lengthens the back of the neck very slightly, and then release. And then squeeze all the face muscles towards the nose. Close the eyes, close the mouth, squeeze. Make the face as small as you can. Smaller, 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 smaller. And release. And then begin to stretch the face. Make the face as high, as tall, as wide as you can. Open the mouth, stick the tongue out, open the eyes, reach the eyebrows up. Roll the eyes up in the head, make the face bigger, 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 bigger. And then exhale through the mouth with a noise. And then close the eyes again. Just check that the teeth aren't clenched. Allow your tummy to sink down. Feel yourself covering as much of the floor as is possible. The body should feel heavy and light at the same time. We're going to look at that in more depth in our final relaxation, as we did last week. And now your awareness to your breath. Fostering a intimate awareness of your natural, unregulated, uncontrolled breathing. Just sensing the air entering and leaving the nostrils. Sensing the temperature changes there. But allowing the breath to flow freely in and freely out, finding its own natural rhythm. And then with a bit more awareness, focusing on your out breath, only on your out breath. So all your awareness on your out breath. And notice the changing sensations throughout the body which accompany each exhalation. Physiologically, what's happening is that as you exhale, the diaphragm is moving upwards into the chest cavity, so you get a sense of stretching there. Visualize that happening. But notice any other changing sensations that happen as you exhale. And then change back to your natural breath, again with equal awareness on inhale and exhale. And then finally allowing your awareness to come into the moment and what's happening in your mind and your thoughts. Using the same unclenching mechanisms that you've employed with the body to relax the mind. Imagine the brain is resting towards the back of the skull. So its constant chattering moves into the background. And your breath is becoming softer and gentler. And you're paying attention to your thoughts in an easier, more relaxed way. Applying just enough soft concentration to follow what's happening. But your attention on your thoughts is as soft as your breath. And we know from the yoga that we've already done that real relaxation in yoga is not about switching off. It's about becoming more aware than we would normally be. Super aware, hypersensitive to what is happening in our bodies, as we did in this first part of the class. Especially with the opening and closing of the hands that we haven't done before. So hopefully now you feel a little bit more centered, a little bit more grounded here, a little bit more focused. And gently bring the legs together and the arms to the side with the palms facing down. And on your next inhalation, reach the arms up over the head. Extend your feet, so reach the toes away from you and the fingers away from you. Can you draw the lower back down in this position? Doing that, you feel that makes it easier to stretch a little bit up the sides of the waist and the side ribs. Keep moving yourself gently into your tallest position. And as you exhale, the next time you come to an exhale, gently float the arms back down. Relax the feet, relax the legs, relax the arms. Everything becomes soft again. And then slightly different stretch. Inhale, the arms float up over the head again. But this time interlace your fingers, turn your palms away, stretching the palms behind you, and flex the feet so the heels are extending away, the toes are drawing back towards your knees. Drawing the lower back down towards the floor if you can. Slightly different stretch. You haven't changed very much, but quite significant changes to this stretch now that you're more sensitive to it. Reaching away with the heels, drawing the lower back down, reaching away with the palms of the hands. And release, unclasp the hands and float the arms back down again. Feet come back to neutral position, feet fall out to the side, arms relax. And when you're ready, the soles of the feet on the floor again, with the knees up. Feet again about hip distance apart. Surface of the feet. Feel into the floor with your feet. How much of your feet, the soles of your feet, the pads of your toes, can you feel on the floor? And from here, just starting with a gentle pelvic tilt. So bring the arms to the side of the body with the palms down. And as you inhale, draw your tummy down and feel your pelvis tilt towards your feet. And exhale, release. Feel that natural curve coming back into the lumbar spine again. Inhaling, flattening the lower back on the floor. Pelvis tilts towards your feet. Exhale, release. Feel the pelvis tilting back. Those two classic tilts in yoga, continuing with that movement. So everything that we do in yoga, every movement is either moving into one of those tilts or into the other tilt or neutral. As you continue with pressure down into your hands, the next time peel your lower back off the floor a little bit, press into the feet, come up just maybe a few centimeters, and exhale, tilt the pelvis coming down. And in your own time, repeating that movement, each time coming up a little bit further. And make sure you're doing this by pressing into the feet and into the hands and into the arms, rather than pushing up from your tummy, especially as you start to get higher in that bridge position. You're working your way up bit by bit, pressing into the feet as you to push up, pressing into the hands and the arms, not pushing up from your tummy. When you come to your highest position, you hold it there and you breathe until we've all got into the same position. And on the next exhalation, very, very slowly roll down. In fact, it won't just be one exhalation, it'll be a few breaths to take you slowly, slowly down vertebra by vertebra. And then from here, inhale, float the arms up over the head. As you exhale, swoop the arms back down until they're level with your shoulders. Leave them level with your shoulders with the palms facing up, making a T shape with your torso and arms. And more awareness to our hands, and just to bring our awareness to the extremities of our body and beyond. So from here, you're going to, with both hands at the same time, touch your each fingertip to the thumb, starting with the little finger. So little finger comes to the thumb, and then release. Then the next finger to the thumb and back. Then the middle finger to the thumb and back. And then the index finger to the thumb and back. Little finger, second finger, ring finger, middle finger, and just repeating that a few more times, bringing each finger to the thumb, just extending your awareness there into areas maybe where we don't normally have our awareness. Remember that our bodies extend from our center. Just one more time, and then bring the back of the hands onto the floor. And a few spinal twists from here. As you exhale, let the knees drop lazily to the left. Gently turn your head to the right. Lift the right shoulder. Gently extend out through your right arm. Slowly, your inhale brings you back to the center. Exhale like windscreen wipers, going from side to side, loosening up the spine. And the next one to your left will be the last time you drop to the left. When you finish that movement, you bring both knees to the chest in your own time. And when the knees are to the chest, if you're not already, gently rocking instinctively. And it may also be natural and feel nice to you here to take the opportunity to move and release the neck and the shoulders, maybe. And then bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor, left knee up, leave the right knee into the chest. And with your right hand, begin to wiggle the hip joint around, as feels nice. You can use your hand, or you can have the arms on the floor, whatever feels best to you, just wriggling and rotating the right hip joint around in a way that feels nice to you. And then clasping both hands on the knee, gently pull the knee in towards the chest without straining. Take a few breaths here. And again, doing something very, very simple, something we've done many, many, many times before, but this time just doing it with more attentiveness than we might usually do it. At the moment, the sole of our left foot is on the floor, our left knee is up. Bring awareness to the center of the back of the left heel. Keep that awareness in the center of the back of the left heel as you slowly slide that foot along the floor until it's straight. Now roll the left thigh inward slightly, and just noticing as you do that, if you rotate it back again and then inwards, just brings your kneecap up to face the ceiling, so the leg is more properly straight. And we're still working here. Spread your toes. Push outward through the ball of the ball of the foot. So imagine you're flowing energy through that long, slight spiral that you can feel in your left leg and out beyond. The sacrum is pressing down. There's a slight natural curve in your lower back. Now bring awareness back to your right knee that's still there in the chest. Gently pull the knee into the chest with your hands. Flatten the shoulder blades against the floor, allowing the chest, as we were looking at last week, to naturally round towards the ceiling. Keep the throat relaxed. Breathe gently and smoothly for a few rounds as you continue to draw the right knee into the chest. Now bring your awareness to the center of the back of the head, and lifting from the center of the back of the head, lift the head up towards the knee. Move the nose towards the knee. Make sure the shoulder blades haven't joined the party. Keep the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Breathe gently and smoothly for a few rounds of breath. Although you're tense here, you have to be a little bit tense. Be as relaxed as you can. Relax any muscles that you feel you can do in this position. And then slowly uncoil the spine and bring your head back down onto the floor again. And you're going to do a single leg raise from here, so you can keep the left leg in the same position, or you can bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor. And gently hold behind your right thigh, or behind your right calf, or your ankle. You know how flexible you are in this position, and extend your stiletto heel towards the ceiling, spreading the toes. As you did last week, how does it feel if you press the ball of the big toe away from you? Does that direct the stretch differently? Or are you quite happy with the leg as it was? Do you prefer just to do it instinctively? Are you happy to stay here, or do you feel you want to climb up the back of that leg and then ease back to increase the stretch slightly? Whichever option you've chosen, eventually, just resting, breathing gently and smoothly for a few rounds. And release. And hug the knee back into the chest again, the right knee. And a twist and hold here. So you can choose either to do the same gentle twist you did at the beginning, in which case you bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor and the sole of the right foot alongside it. That's the gentle version, the same as the one we were doing at the beginning, like windscreen wipers. But this time we're going to hold. Or stronger, you keep the left leg straight where it was before. You bring the right arm out level with your shoulder. The right knee is into the chest. Use your left hand to draw the knee towards under the arm, under the underarm, and then come across a little bit towards your left. Shift your hips across a little bit to the left and take your right knee over to your left. Option is to leave the right foot away from your left leg, or you can take the right foot onto the left leg. The left hand is on the outside of the right knee, gently drawing it across to the left. Now, what's happening to your hips if you're in that position? If you're just in the normal position, you've just dropped your knees to the left and you're looking down back over your right arm. So if you've got the left leg straight, what about the hips? Well, in both positions, where are the hips? You can tuck the left hip under the right hip if you like that in this position, or you can leave the hips a little bit separated. And then slowly back to the center. And bring the hands behind the right thigh or the right calf or the right ankle, and straighten the right leg to the ceiling again. Then bend the knee, hug the right knee into the chest. Straighten the left leg away from you if it isn't already straight on the floor. And then gently straighten your right leg alongside your left. And notice the difference in the leg tone, and wait for the sensation of the stretch to diminish before we repeat the same thing the other side. So this time knees to chest, and then the sole of the right foot on the floor and the left knee into the chest. And with both hands or one hand or no hands, circle your left knee around, wriggle the hip joint around, the left hip joint around, as feels nice for you. And then with both hands on the knee, gently pull the knee in towards the chest without straining as before. Take a few rounds of breath here. And then from here, the same as we did the other side, very mindfully, bring your awareness this time to the center of the back of the right heel and slide the right heel along the floor. So the right leg straightens along the floor. Now, can you feel any difference here if you roll the right thigh inward slightly? Do you feel the kneecap comes more in line with the ceiling? Spread your toes, push outward through the ball of the foot. Imagine you're flowing energy through that long spiral through the left leg out and beyond. Sacrum is pressing down, lower back. And gently pulling the left knee into the chest as you flatten the shoulder blades against the floor, allowing the chest to naturally round. Throat is relaxed. Breathing gently and smoothly for a few rounds. And now bring your awareness to the center of the back of the head and lift from the back of the head. The idea being that you're not pushing up with your chin. Lifting from the back of the center of the head, bring the nose up towards the knee. Keep the shoulder blades down away from the ears, don't let them get involved. Breathe gently and smoothly here as you continue to draw the knee in and draw the nose towards the knee. And on your exhalation, uncoil the spine and rest your head on the floor again. So as before, the right leg can stay in the same position straight, or you can bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor and gently hold behind your left thigh or your left calf or your left ankle, and straighten the left leg towards the ceiling, extending the heel out like a stiletto towards the ceiling. Spread the toes. And how does it feel to you if you press the ball of the big toe away from you? Does it create a slight spiral inwards in the line of the leg? Does that direct the stretch differently for you? Or do you prefer just to do it organically, naturally, as feels right to you? These, like everything else in the class, are just suggestions. The other suggestion we had the other side was, do you like to climb up the leg? We often do that. And then draw the weight back to increase, does that increase the stretch slightly for you? Or are you happy just staying with the head on the floor from the beginning? And then release the position. So we're twisting here. So if you'd adopted the gentle pose, you'll have both the soles of both feet on the floor. Otherwise, you stay in the same position with the right leg straight, the left knee to the chest. This time the left arm comes out level with the shoulder. The right hand guides the left knee towards the left underarm. The right hip shifts a little bit to the left as you come over, using your right hand to draw your left knee over towards the floor, the other side of your right leg. Left foot can rest on the left leg if you want to. Does it feel nicer to you if the right hip is tucked under the left, or is it fine just coming into the position it naturally came in? And slowly back to the center. Bring the hands behind the leg, straighten the leg to the ceiling. And then lowering the leg down, straightening your legs alongside each other. Notice the difference in the legs now. Maybe they both feel a little bit warmer, a bit longer. And wait for the sensations of stretch to diminish. Spine, so we spent quite a lot of time on the spine, stretching out the hamstring muscles, stretching the legs out, preparing us for standing postures. And finally, the hips. So the same as we did last week, bring the knees to the chest, keep the big toes together, and allow the knees to separate to the side. The knees to chest, big toes together, knees separate out to the side. Find the best place to put your hands on the inside of your legs without lifting the lower back off the floor to reach further down. And then use your hands to gently spread the knees apart a little further, maybe. Keep the sacrum flat on the floor. Move the shoulders towards the floor again, so the chest rounds. Wriggle, wiggle the shoulder blades under until they're flat and comfortable. Breathe. And you spend some of your time simply allowing the natural weight of the arms passively and gravity to deepen the stretch. And at other times, you might like to apply gentle pressure to ease the knees outward with your hands. You're delicately enticing the knees towards the floor. You're relaxing with the intensity. You're immersing yourself in the flow of your breath and the various sensations you're experiencing. Staying in this position or Stronger option is to spread the legs sideways. So you come into a splits position, stretching outward through the legs. Spreading the toes, pressing the balls of the feet, running energy all the way down through those legs and beyond. Doing as you did before, sometimes simply resting the hands on the inside of the legs and maybe alternating that with employing a little pressure with the hands, just the right amount of pressure to create just the right amount of sensation for you. Not so much that the feeling overwhelms you and you start to shake physically, and not so little that you feel nothing. A few more rounds of breath here. If you've come too far with the legs open, then feel free to just retreat back to the previous position with the knees bent. If the legs are straight, gently bend them again. You use your hands to gently ease your knees back together and to Shavasana. And then bring the knees to the chest. Find your way up to a standing position. And coming long ways on the mat, just adopting a straddle stance with legs separated about shoulder width and a half. And take the hands out in front of you. Imagine you're holding a ball of light, a ball of energy, a ball of chi between the hands. Close your eyes. Make sure the arms stay slightly bent. Space under the arms. Establish a connection between the palms of the hands that we were concentrating on earlier when we were opening and closing, like a flower. And now we're going to move that ball around in your mind's eye, keeping that same feeling of holding something there. Making it bigger if you want to, making it smaller. And then bringing your right hand on top, left hand on the bottom, and flow slowly across to your right. Turning, left hand on top, slowly across to your left. Allowing the legs to naturally straighten and bend as you move from side to side. Whichever hand is on top is the direction that you're moving. Spine stays straight. Flowing from side to side, release the shoulders. Keep everything relaxed and flowing and fluid. The same feelings that later we're going to take into the sun salutations. This circular, flowing, fluid, easy motion. And make the next two the last two and slowly come back to the center. Soften the knees. And bring the left hand onto your right wrist and fend across to your right. Reaching the back of the right palm towards, away from you. And then inhale, lifting up, straighten the legs, then bend the legs, come all the way down through rainbow circles. And then right hand on left wrist and fend across to your left. Lift up, roll around to rainbow, all the way around. Circling the hips and the spine, then left hand on right wrist and fend to your right. All the way around. And repeating that a few more times in your own time. Fending, lifting, rolling all the way around, bending the knees. Make that as big a circle as you can and visualize that circle that you're transcribing with your arms as you come all the way around. Almost to the top of that circle again before you fend the other way. So it's not quite a circle. It's like 3/4 of a circle you're actually making, but your mind is drawing a complete circle. And last time to your right, and the last time will be to your left. Back to the center, hold the ball again. Soften the knees, ground through the feet, straighten the spine. Imagine you're being suspended by a golden thread from the crown of the head. Crown ascending. Palms of the hands together. Namaste, the center of the chest, thumbs pressing lightly into the center of the sternum. Roll the hands around, inhale, reach the arms up over the head, palms touch, looking up at the hands. Exhale, drawing down, back of the hands face out. Palms face in. Inhale, gently arch the back. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin down, hands come forward. Draw the hands back again to the center. Roll the hands around. Inhale up. Exhale, drawing down. Inhale, gently open. Arching the back. Exhale, rounding the back, coming forward, chin comes down. Tummy draws in. Inhale, back to the center. Roll around the arms, hands again. Inhaling up. Exhaling, drawing down. Inhale, gently arching if you're comfortable doing that. Exhale, rounding, coming forward, drawing the tummy in, chin to chest. Back to the center, palms of the hands together. Now from here, inhale, roll the hands around again as you did before. Exhale, bring the palms up over the head. Look up at the hands, keep looking at the hands as you bring the hands down, level with your chest, bending the knees, then straighten the legs and fold forward down to the floor. Wide angle, fold, elephant pose. Cup the hands, draw the hands up the center of the body. At chest level, turn the hands away from you, push towards the ceiling. Palms of the hands together. Look up at the hands. Follow the hands down to the chest. Keep following the hands. Bend the knees. Then straighten the legs. Fold down to the floor. Second time to elephant pose. Inhale, drawing up. Chest level. Turn the palms of the hands away. Press to the ceiling. Look up at the hands and then bring the palms of the hands together. With your eye, bend the knees as you come down and then straighten the legs as you fold from the waist down to the floor. One more time. Inhale, drawing up. At chest level, turn the palms of the hands to face the ceiling. Roll the hands back as you stretch the shoulders. Palms of the hands together. Follow the hands down. Tip over, down to elephant pose. Cup the hands, draw up to the center. Stretch the hands to the ceiling. This time, Bring the palms of the hands to face each other. And exhale, come down to drinking bird, arms behind you. Bend the knees, inhale to rocking horse. Exhale to drinking bird. Bend the knees, inhale to rocking horse. Exhale, dipping bird. Bend the knees, inhale, rocking horse. Last time, exhale to drinking bird, and then keeping the arms behind the back, clasp the hands together. And use that movement to draw your head down a little bit further towards the floor. Make sure the knees aren't locked. Bend the knees if you need to, but at least keep a small, tiny micro bend in the knees. Breathe smoothly. On the next inhalation, bend the knees and come forward to rocking horse. Remember, arms can be parallel to the floor, or the arms can be alongside the ears. Don't grip in the shoulders, so release the shoulders. Come down a bit further if you can, holding with the breath. Challenge yourself for the next few breaths as much as you feel you need to. Can be very low or can be quite high. 2 more rounds of breath slowly. And release. Soften the knees. Right hand, center of the chest. Left hand on the belly. Close the eyes. And breathe. And coming to the end of the mat. For sun salutations, we will do a couple of rounds together, and then you can continue in your own time. I'll tell you when we get there how many you're going to do. So legs together, arms to the side. Inhaling, lifting and taking the shoulders back, opening the chest. On one exhale, bring the palms of the hands together. Inhale, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, swallow dive down to the floor, head to knee. Release the weight of the head. Inhale, right leg back, right knee down, gently looking up. Hands flat, retain the breath, back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, through to cobra. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left knee down, looking up. Exhale, left leg forward, fold. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, arms come back down to the side of the body with control, end up looking forward. Inhalation, open up. On one exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, down, head to knee. Inhale, left leg back, left knee down, looking up. Retain the breath, right leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, looking up. Exhale, right leg forward, fold. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, arms down to the side. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, swallow dive down to the floor. Inhale, right knee down, right leg down, left leg back, retain the breath. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, Right foot forward, left knee down, looking up. Exhale, left leg forward, head to knee. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Last round together. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, swallow dive down. Inhale, left leg back, left knee down, looking up. Hold the breath, right leg back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg forward, right knee down, gently looking up. Exhale, right leg forward, fold. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower the arms down. And in your own, either resting here in your own time with just the feet separated, you can have the right hand on the heart center, left hand to belly again if you want to, or 4 more rounds in your own time, or 2 more rounds in your own time. So I'll give you time to do that. Otherwise, you're just doing a standing, breathing focus as you wait for everybody to do the sun salutations. So if you're still doing the sun salutation, search, find the smoothness, find the softness, find the gentleness in the movements. Find an effortlessness, find the circularity to what you're doing, even though you're going in one line, flowing like water from one move to the next. Search and find the smoothness, find the softness, find the gentleness, the perfect balance between tension and release. So you're not muscling into the positions, you're just flowing to them. When you finish, which probably most of you have by now, just keeping your focus. And then finishing the standing postures with a balance. Eagle. So we'll start with just the legs. So just allow the arms to be to the side. Ground down through your left leg. And lift the right knee up and take the right leg over the left, tucking the right foot behind the left calf if you can. And release. And then changing eagle just with the legs, the other side, wrapping the left leg over the right. idea in that position is to use your hands to bring your hips back to the center. If you don't keep the hips square, then you lose the stretch to the outside of the leg that's crossed over, and you lose your symmetry, a certain amount of your symmetry. And back to the center. And take the right arm out in front of you with the arm bent, thumb facing towards your forehead. Take the left arm under your right and around to eagle arms. Legs just stay as they normally are. Then to bring the stretch into the shoulders, you lift the fingers up and away from you. Feel how that broadens and stretches the shoulders. One of the best shoulder stretching exercises that classic yoga has to offer. And gently release and enjoy that lovely feeling of the shoulders. Rebound effect after the tension. When you're ready, the other side, left arm out in front of you with the arm bent, thumb facing towards your forehead, right arm wraps under and around. To bring the stretch into the shoulders, you lift the elbows up and away from you. Getting just the right amount of stretch for you, depending on the tightness of your shoulders. And release. So now with the legs and the hands, so weight down into your right leg, wrap your left leg over your right. And the leg that goes over the left is the arm that goes under. So the left arm comes under the right and around. You can either do what you did before, lifting up the elbows and the hands and just going for the stretch, or you could slowly sink down, bringing your knees down towards, your elbows down towards your knees. And slowly unwrap with control if you can. And when you're ready to the other side, so it's the right leg wrapping over and around the left, and the right arm that comes over and wraps around your left. If you're very confident here and comfortable, can you square the hips a little bit more towards the front? So you bring that stretch a bit more into the outside of the leg, crossing over. Hold for the same amount of time as you did the other side. And when you're finished, you come out and down to Shavasana, but don't hurry. And we're at our inversion time of the class. So it's shoulder stand, or it's legs up the wall if you've got a wall there in your house that you can put your legs up with the bottom as close to the legs, to the wall as you can get them. Or just having the hands to the side, palms of the hands either side the hips and facing the legs up. So physiologically, our inversions stimulate our blood, the blood flowing to the brain, but also to the skin, bringing the blood back up into the face. Maybe one reason why they claim that shoulder stand has anti-aging properties. So just stay in a position where you're comfortable and you can hold without straining. And always a few things to check. That the throat and the tongue are soft. Checking the shoulder blades are firmed in against the back. And the tendency in shoulder stand is to draw the chin down towards the sternum. But you do the opposite. You move the sternum, the breastbone, towards the chin. Press the sternum towards the chin, rather than straining the neck by drawing the chin down. Make sure that backs of the upper arms, the backs of your upper arms, and the tops of your shoulders, so from your elbows up to your shoulders, are actively but gently pushing into the floor. So you're using that support. Your upper spine is lifting away from the floor. You're either closing your eyes or you're gazing softly at your chest. The head stays still. The head stays center. As with all poses, you are quiet. You are steady. You are comfortable. Just a couple more rounds of breath if you're still in shoulder stand. And then come over into plow or half plow, bringing the feet down over the head. Any variation there that you like. Some people I know like to have their hands under their toes. Some people like to separate their legs in this position. We're here for another minute, so just do as you and your body tells you to. Just a couple more rounds of breath. And then slowly back up to shoulder stand. And either bending the knees to your forehead, bring the arms on the floor and rolling out, or keeping the legs straight, bringing the arms onto the floor and slowly rolling out, or the more advanced option, stepping over into bridge. Take a couple of breaths there before you effortlessly kick back up into shoulder stand. And coming over with the other leg into half. So one leg at a time into bridge pose. And then slowly down into Shavasana. Doing any counter poses you feel are necessary. Some people create more tension in this pose than others and feel a stronger need for a counter pose. Or you might just be quite happy just staying here, using your attention to identify and breathe into any tensions created from the shoulder stand, obviously shoulders and neck and upper back are the areas that tighten. And bring the soles of the feet onto the floor and the arms to the side with the palms facing down. And back to what you did at the beginning, slowly inhaling, draw your tummy down, tilt the pelvis forward, press into the feet, press into the hands, press into the forearms, and come up to bridge. If you come up a little bit halfway and it feels a bit creaky, then come down again and come up bit by bit. Or hold a lower position. Now find your way into bridge pose. And then a little bit stronger, clasp your hands underneath the body if you want to. Shuffle your elbows closer together as you do in fish. Lifting the chest up a little bit higher. This draws your shoulders back and draws your shoulder blades closer together. And you might want to roll down at this point or come into a stronger position. Bring the hands onto the waist with your elbows on the floor and your forearms on the floor. You're now in the classic position of bridge. Checking your thighs aren't rolling out to the side. Inwardly rotate your thighs so you feel like you're squeezing a ball, a soft Pilates ball with your inner thighs. If you feel stable here, leave the left foot on the floor and bring the right knee into the chest and straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. Lift as high as you can through the hips and through the chest and reach the heel towards the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths before you bend the knee and come down, and then in your own time, the same thing with the other knee. The other leg straightens to the ceiling. Otherwise, you've either come down already or you're just resting in a classic bridge position or with the hands clasped under the body. And from there, if you have whichever position you're in, if you're still in bridge, bring the palms of the hands flat on the floor to the side of the body. Just notice what's happened with your shoulders. They probably need to be unhooked a little bit. They're probably drawn in too much to enable you to roll down bit by bit, allowing the shoulder blades to spread away from each other as you come down. And not straight away, because we've stretched our spine quite a lot in that position. So it's not so great to go straight into a counter pose. But when you feel the sensations in the back have subsided, if they're there, some people feel them stronger than others, bring the knees to the chest. And then come up to a sitting position, either rolling along the spine or rolling to your side and sitting up. And from a sitting position, bring the soles of the feet together and draw the knees, sorry, not the knees, the heels towards the buttocks. And rest the hands on the inside of the knees. And then hold the ankles. And very gently flapping your wings in this position, allowing them, just flapping the knees forwards and backwards. Like a butterfly. And then a forward bend, two choices here. And we'll start from the first one. Slide your feet away from you until you've got that diamond shape here. That's the first posture. You can either shift the hips back and fold over here, or straightening the legs from this position and coming into a classic seated forward bend. Or any variation that you're drawn to in terms of seated forward bends. Could be a wide angle forward bend with the legs separated. Could be a half forward bend with one leg straight and the other one into the thigh, if you feel more drawn to one of those. Although we will include all those variations in later classes. A couple of minutes here, so lots of time. To allow the body to relax and the muscles to soften in this position. And then slowly release. And hug the knees into the chest. Draw the eyes down towards the kneecaps. And then come over onto your front and make our upside down relaxation position. So tummy is on the floor. Make a pillow with the hands, turn the head to one side. Bring the big toes together. Allow the heels to fall out to the side. Elbows are on the floor. And if you want to, gently rock the pelvis, the hips from side to side. And from here, cobra. So bring the hands under the shoulders, elbows in, shoulder blades sliding down towards your feet. Feet can be separated or together. Closer they are together, the stronger the bend is. It also changes the focus of where this bend is in the spine as well. To begin with, just using the strength of your back. So lift your hands just off the floor. And remember, we were doing a few weeks ago, natural instinct is to inhale and press your tummy down to the floor. If you do that, you've automatically limited the amount that your back can bend. So before you inhale, draw your tummy away from the floor and then inhale, keeping the hands off the floor, just using the strength of your back to come up. Hold for 3 breaths and then come down. Relax the head on the floor. And then the classic position with the hands on the floor. Elbows in, shoulders back. This time it's going to be either 3 breaths or 6 breaths. So again, try that adjustment of drawing your tummy in first and then inhaling up. Relaxing the face, relaxing the eyes, relaxing the jaw, holding for 3 breaths or 6. When you've finished, you come down, make a pillow with the hands, turn the head to the other side. And when you finish, push back to child's pose. Bottom to heels. Coming up, taking a seated position, a seated comfortable cross-legged position, Sukhasana. And shift the hips back and slowly fold forward, hands in front of you. And then slowly back up. Lateral stretch here. Bring the right hand onto the floor to the right side, away from your right hip. Bring the left arm alongside the left ear. Press down into the right hand. Lengthen from the left hip to the fingertips of the left hand and lift up and over to your right. Keep the left buttock grounded to the floor. Adjust with your right hand, taking it further, nearer, bending it, whatever feels the best position for you to get that lovely line of stretch all the way from your left side of your waist, all the way up under the underarm, all the way up the arm and out beyond your fingertips of your left hand. On your next inhalation, release, bring the left arm up, lower the left hand down, pause a moment in the center. And then bring the left hand to the floor, bring the right arm alongside the right ear, press down into your right buttock, lengthen right side the waist, underarm, all the way up to your fingertips, up and over to your left, this time accommodating with your left hand, arm, so that you get the most comfortable focus for that stretch in the right side of the body. And slowly back to the center. Change the cross of the ankles. Give the legs a little shake out if they need it. And then finishing our final posture is a twist. So left hand on the right knee, right arm placed behind you. Lift the right shoulder, take the right side of the chest back, and gently turn your head into the space to look over your right shoulder. And slowly turn the head back to the center, and then bring everything back with it. And when you're ready, right hand on the left knee, left arm behind you. Lift the left shoulder up and back, open the left side of the chest, turn left with the head, look over your left shoulder. And slowly back to the center. And then shift the hips back, fold forward again as you did at the beginning of this sequence, bringing the head down towards the floor. And back up, and uncross the legs, straighten the legs, make any other movements you feel you need to. Get a blanket if you think you might get a little bit colder. It is a bit colder today. And come into your final relaxation position. And last time, it's a little bit longer than we have time for on a Monday night normally, because we're not restricted to 1 hour. So finding a nice comfortable position. And make your first subtle, intuitive, mindful alignments. First ones are quite gross adjustments to get you into the position, but then to fine tune those movements, just so you begin to feel as comfortable as you can in your position. So we find comfort and ease. So we can be comfortable and content for as long as we're here, to be immobile. This is the starting point. To be comfortable, peaceful, and restful. The starting point also for meditation, but more difficult to come into that state of mind without the postures that we've just done. That's why traditionally the postures prepared for the meditation. So our final relaxation, especially when it's longer, is a lying down meditation. You might prefer, as in previous weeks and classes, you might prefer to be seated. You might already be seated. Just means that some of my instructions won't necessarily pertain to the posture that you're in. So you'll need to just check if they're relevant or not. Or you change them slightly. So the first thing is to imagine as a wave of relaxation coming along the floor towards your feet. And as it comes over the feet, it relaxes the toes. It spreads up, that wave of relaxation, relaxing the calves. The relaxation moves up through the knees, up the legs, through the pelvis, through the buttocks, through the spine, through and up into the chest. It's also come from the fingertips all the way up the arms to the shoulders. That wave of relaxation has enveloped you up to your neck and up through the head. And as you visualize that, you might already feel that your body has sunk a little bit into the floor. You're melting, you're sinking. You're fixed. You're immobile. You're effortlessly, naturally in this posture doing less and less and less. And this back body feeling, this sinking feeling, this rooted feeling, this planted, melted, fixed feeling is yin. There's a heaviness, an earth, a stone-like quality. These are yin qualities. But there cannot be yin without yang. It's complementary, balancing opposite. And its balancing opposite, its yang, starts from the floor as your awareness floats outwards and upwards towards the ceiling. You feel your awareness rising slowly at a leisurely, unhurried pace. You feel yourself expanding, inflating, swelling into a new shape, into a new profile, into a new template, filling up with the yang quality. Of weightless expansion. So you have that sense of weightlessness and expansion and inflation. But at the same time, you're open here. You're undefended. You're unguarded. Allow all of that to happen. Enjoy this balance between the back body being rooted and planted and sinking, and the front body being lifted and light and open. And enjoy that balance. And you feel that balance that exists in us between our instincts to close and defend and stay safe, and our need to open up and go outwards from ourselves. Obviously very relevant at the moment. And maybe you realize that those yin qualities and those yang qualities, that heaviness and that lightness that you experienced as different, have now merged into something else. And you are now expanding as you relax. The contracted parts of you have expanded at the same time as they've softened and they've melted and they've released. So although all of this started with heaviness and weight sinking, you actually now feel less heavy, less dense, less compacted. Maybe you have that wonderful sense of being less solid. You literally experience more space in your body. You feel wide open. And you might even get a sense of, as your physicalness fades, a sense of being only space. You're so super tuned that you're only awareness, you're only mind. And maybe in that place begin to suspect that you are limitless. And in that limitlessness, you become brighter. And you start to glow. You become brighter. And you shine. You become brighter. And you radiate. And then very slowly, hearing the sound of my voice again, And slowly drawing yourself back again, being aware of start to become aware of your physical body again, where it makes contact with the floor. The natural weight of the body and the arms and the legs and the head and skull. Take a very conscious, deep breath in. And sigh the breath out through the mouth. And then very slowly begin to move your toes, all your awareness down in the periphery of the legs. And in the peripheries of the arms, your fingers. Where we started the class. And then your shoulders and your arms and your shoulders, everything else starts to move. Reach the arms over the head, have a big yawn, as loudly or as silently as you want to. And then draw the knees into the chest. And when you're ready, roll onto your side. And when you're ready, coming up to a sitting position, cross-legged. And bring the palms of the hands together. And we often say Namaste at the end of the class, and there are many different interpretations of its basic meaning. But this is my favorite. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. The place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste.